So, Coach, start with the road trip. 2 games, one road trip. Have you ever been part of this before? Obviously, a league that's so far flung, you got to do this. What do you think of getting 2 games in one road trip?
Yeah, we've done it a few times during my time both at Drake and at Creighton. So we've stayed out on the road. Just makes more sense, especially on some of these longer road trips, to not travel back and forth across the country, multiple times in a short period. So yeah, it's something we've done before, and make the most of it. Spend a little time together as a team and do some different things.
So, what type of different things do you do? How do you game plan when you're sort of in a hotel? How does it all work?
Like one of the days we'll take the guys to a movie in the afternoon just to get them out and about a little bit. What we're um, maybe another day that we've done a game before, go watch a NBA game or something like that. So just different things, go out to eat, whatever it might be, just to occupy a little bit of time and gives us a little still plenty of time in the film room and stuff in the hotel that we can do it. But again, just kind of all your focus is on basketball. You're out on the road together, so it's not that bad.
So, will you try to watch Houston, the Rockets, when you're there?
Yeah, we're looking into that, seeing if that's a possibility.
Let's go to John.
Coach, last game they were down to the last possession against UCF. What happened in that game? What did you see from that?
Yeah, I mean, really, they were in control for a good portion of the game. It built up double-digit lead, fairly late in the game. And I'm sure they were disappointed that they weren't able to, hold on to that there late, because it, like you said, it came down to that last possession. Had an inbounds play to, try and win it, basically. That didn't go their way.
McMillan is scoring a lot. I guess he had his career game. What are you seeing from him in the guard spot?
Yeah, he was really good. You give him some space, he has the ability to hurt you in a lot of levels. Can really shoot the three. Great at getting into the lane, playing out the mid range as well. So certainly someone you can't give a lot of space to.
The last one for me, I count 8 guys on the roster, 6'8" or taller, and I think 6 of them play a lot, so they got a lot of size.
Yeah, no, they do have tremendous size across their entire team. So presents some challenges with their versatility and length, all the way across the board.
Thanks.
You bet.
Cody.
Yeah, hey Darren. Going back to just the trip, these 2 game swings. Is the second game, does it make it harder? The guy's not getting to come back home at all, and just, or is it? I mean, it's only 3 days, so is it not that big of a deal?
I mean, I think as long as you approach it right, and the guys, come out with the right mindset, it's fine. Um, they're young guys, so they can figure it out. But I've had some of the swings have gone great, some of the swings haven't gone well. So I haven't really been able to say, hey, one way or the other, whether they're good or bad for you. I think it still comes down to you and your focus and coming out and playing well.
Dr. Gray.
So, I guess I'll ask injuries, though I guess I know the answer. But just in terms of game planning, when you have to juggle lineups, I mean, do you have to put together multiple game plans, not knowing who's going to be available? How do you handle all that?
Yeah, that's something we've been doing. It takes some of the reps away when you're trying to, get multiple guys involved within the game plan and not sure who's available or who's not, but you also have to get everybody ready. So, that's something, we've been doing and will continue to do, and then, adjust it with the lineups that we have available on game day.
Are you close to maybe having to pull a red shirt of some of the kids that are playing, or are you really intent on keeping those red shirts intact unless it's just an emergency?
Yeah, unless it's an emergency, we wouldn't want to do that to any of those guys at this point. I think they're doing a great job. They're practicing hard and things, but at this point in the season, unless it was something they came to me and wanted to do, we would allow them to continue to redshirt.
John. John, you're muted.
Yeah, sorry. Hey, I lied. One more. Do you know anything about Tad? Do you have any relations with Tad Boyle? And they were coming off a great season last year. I think they had 3 guys go in the draft. A really good team. You know him very well.
Yeah. First of all, he's a terrific coach.
Yeah.
And we used to have some good battles when he was at Wichita State as an assistant coach, and I was at Creighton. So known known him a long time, and he does a really good job. I mean, their teams are always well coached.
So good, he's getting you choked up.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Kevin Kinder.
Coach, obviously, Javon Small does a lot for you, but he's also second on the team in rebounding. I guess a little bit of that is a function of minutes played. But what makes him good at that, do you think? Is it just right spots? Obviously, he's athletic, jumps really well, but he's not going to be jumping over a lot of forwards and centers.
I think it's a little bit of just 1-2, but as you mentioned, he's got good size. He's got good athleticism. He can go in there and compete. He doesn't get, bumped around. Like, he can go, challenge balls up in the air. And he's done a really good job of that, of going and pursuing balls. He's got, the speed to go do that and track rebounds down.
There's been a couple of guards here over the years that have done that well. Are there some guys that just read that well? Kind of like you mentioned, see, hey, my teammates have this 1 or 2 guys boxed out. Here's an area I can get to.
Yeah, I think there's always guys that just have that kind of unique ability to go find the ball. Some of it you want it to be habits, and then other times it's just there's guys that just have the instincts that know how to pursue it and how to go track rebounds down.
Justin.
Hey, Coach. Good morning. How you doing?
Hey, good morning.
I'm guessing you're hoping for a better travel this time around, right?
I'll do the same travel if we could get the same result, if somebody could guarantee that. But yeah, no, I'm hoping for a little smoother trip this time.
Just kind of wondering, after the Arizona game, what kind of response have you seen from the guys, and what kind of makes you think that, the response will be better here for you guys in the next game?
Yeah, the guys have been great. I mean, they've responded well. The couple losses we've had this year, they responded well after those as well. So, they're a pretty focused group. They understand we didn't necessarily have our A game the other night, and they've focused hard on what went wrong, and we did plenty of things right in that game too. But there's also some things in areas that we need to be better in, and we all know that even as a coaching staff, there's some things that we felt we needed to do better as well.
Bob Hertzl.
Yeah, Coach. Along those lines, first of all, why do you suspect a night shows up where you don't have, especially a home game and against a good team, where you don't have your A game? And B, how do you, with 2 road games looking you in the face, shake off a loss?
Well, I think again, it's like we've talked about all year, just making sure we have that very narrow focus on turning the page after wins and losses. After big win at Kansas, that would have been easy to not come out and be as focused, after that big win and stuff. And I thought our guys really, took the win and were able to focus in on Oklahoma State. We thought we prepared well for Arizona. We didn't get it done that night. And but all we can do is learn from wins, learn from losses, and go for that next scout and preparation that we have. And right now that's Colorado.
Any other questions for Coach? Mike.
Hey, Darren, how's it going?
Hey, great, Mike.
Just kind of going back to some of the post-game stuff, the amount of time that they were in the paint against you. Have you gone back and just kind of been able to explain and show what didn't happen so many times in the first couple of games that happened on Tuesday night, and one of those things that just stands out to everybody once they see it?
Yeah, and I thought Arizona, first off, they have really good guards and had great size, so they were able to get in there a few times and just score over us. They were able to get in some of our ball screen coverages we had to change that up as the game went to eliminate some of those, paint touches off the dribble. But that also, when you do some of that, it exposes some other areas. So it's a little bit of, what are you willing to give up? But Arizona's really good at scoring in the paint. That's where they score the bulk of their points. They're one of the best in the country at it. And unfortunately, we didn't do a good enough job of keeping them out of there, even though, that was the game plan going in of how do we keep them out of the paint, and make them, score different ways than maybe they're used to.
And then if it happens one time, I think people maybe freak out and go, "Oh my gosh, this is a trend that could happen every time now too." But how much variation do you see from one game to another in what an opponent wants to do or just is prone to do, and it doesn't necessarily match up to maybe what didn't work out well for you last game, or conversely, maybe something that did work out well for you last game, but it's not as relevant because the other team whole different set of challenges and variables.
Right. I think for the most part, teams, kind of play to their strengths. That that they'll try to maybe, find a way to attack some weaknesses in what they do. But I don't know that they're going to just wholesale everything just to try and be something that they're not. So I think every game plan, every game prep is unique and different in their own way. But you're always trying to attack the other team's, weaknesses. Other teams are trying to attack ours or what they perceive to be ours, and we're trying to do the same.
Any carryover, any overlapping from Colorado's preferred way of attack and maybe what Arizona did, or is again just two very different things?
I just think they're two different teams. I mean, they're both good at what they do, and they present those challenges. And that's something that for Colorado we need to prepare for their team and what they do well.
Thanks.
Time for a couple more. We'll go to Ryan Decker.
Hey, Coach. With as many minutes as Javon is playing right now due to all the injuries and stuff, how cognizant, I guess, are you of the pace and maybe trying to, at times, do you pick and choose spots to slow the pace down just to try to save his legs at all? And then I guess on the flip side of that, how much autonomy does Javon have in slowing the pace of the game down when he maybe knows he needs just a quick second to get his legs back?
Yeah, it's something that we certainly talked about. I think the tricky part of all that is we're also very good in transition, and that's where we score the best. So trying to find a balance of staying fresh throughout the course of a game, but also staying aggressive and trying to get out in the open floor and doing the things that we think we're most successful at as an offense. So and we've done that here these last few games and stuff. We've kind of chosen our spots of when we want to be more aggressive and run, or when we want to slow it down and play more of a half court game.
And we'll close with Justin.
Coach, I'm just kind of wondering, as these conferences continue to get bigger and bigger in terms of a number of schools, I'm sure you face this a lot, maybe at Creighton in the Big East and maybe even at Drake. You're going to have teams at the top and you're going to have teams at the bottom. I mean, that's just mathematically the way it is. And so, I'm thinking when you're a Creighton, how do you handle the swings of, getting all juiced up to play UConn, and then the next game's against DePaul. Big 12, you get juiced up to play Kansas and Arizona. And now, you got to go face a team that hasn't won a game yet. How do you handle those swings with the players?
From our standpoint, every team's a good team, a really good team, and they are in this league. And as a coach, our job is to try to get up for all 31 regular season games. I don't really care who the opponent is. We need to play a certain way every night, and those habits need to be the same regardless of who we're playing. And certainly in league play, we don't look at anybody any differently because they're all good teams. That's why this league is so so challenging.
Thank you, Coach.
You bet. Thank you,
Coach. Thank you. Thanks everyone for calling in.